Can't hear you.
So how do you know when I'm done talking?
And good afternoon. Welcome to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show. And this is Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. This is Wellness Wednesday, and it's hump day for most people. But you know what? It's almost like it's not really hump day because we already had one little day that gave us a little day off this week. So come on, everybody, calm down. We weren't looking for hump day, were we? Some people are like, which day is it? But it is Wednesday, and just thankful to be in paradise, regardless of the grumbling, which we grumble. I can't travel, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? We're safe, we're sound, and just appreciative of that. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I have a great guest this afternoon, and I'm going to be chatting with her in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to tell you guys a few things before that. I'm very excited about today with the Wellness Wednesday story that we will share, and just excited. However, Father's Day is coming up. As I understand, it is going to be this Sunday. So those of you that have not planned to do something great for Dad will now get yourself in gear so that you can, have him on the list for sure. And we might chat a little bit about some things to do, some ideas. I'll do that with my guests maybe at the other half of the show. But also, I had a class with some young people, and they were sharing some Father's Day poems, and they were making some poems and some quotes and stuff. So, guys, I'm going to do that for you, but I'll probably do it next week because it looks like it's going to be a quite busy, between today and tomorrow because I have two great guests. And so next week I'll have you tune in, have you and your dad tune in so you can hear your poems, and just to give your dad some attention and celebrate him. All right, so just letting you know, I'm not going to say who you guys are. You know who you are, but I was very excited that I got a chance to sit down and just work with you guys on that. And I tell you, one thing that I loved about the whole thing is that sometimes we really, as a society, as a community, as a world, we make a big deal about moms, and absolutely you should, because I'm one. So, of course, make a big deal because we are a big deal, as the song says, right? Big deal. You know what I'm talking about. But, you couldn't be here without your dad. So we got to make a big deal about him too. And if you're fortunate enough to have an amazing father and he's been there in your life, and you know what? He might not be perfect and there might be issues, and him and your mom might not even be together and all that other good stuff, but he's still your dad and he's there for you. Let's give him some credit. Let's, celebrate him too. So remember that, ladies that have those babies, if you are a baby mama and you got a good baby daddy, don't forget about him come this Sunday. Don't forget that, your baby can't buy anything for me, your baby can't call him, but you can, and you can facilitate that. All right. So I do want to give credit to our fathers, and also to pay kind of, some homage and credit to my dad, who's no longer here on this earth. And, just to just thank him for being here, thank him for contributing to this world, and thank you for giving me life. And also to my baby daddy, who helped contribute three amazing people that I get to call mine, and who's no longer on this earth as well. But just want us to just really be mindful of our fathers, right? And to just appreciate who they are and what they do for us, right? So that, just wanted to get that out of the head. And I have a great guest, so I will go ahead and introduce her. This is Lucille Bawden, and I want to say good afternoon. Hi, Lucille.
Good afternoon.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so Lucille, you're not gonna behave shy, because you and I, we don't even, I don't even know how we carry on when we're together. You and I have been friends a very long time. It's just you and I. Don't worry about nobody else listening. It's just me and you. Okay. And it's just I'm really looking forward to this interview because you are one of my best friends in this behind your back, and I appreciate and value you so much in my life. Period. Right. And I just wanted really for you to come on and share your story this afternoon because it's a really big story and it's really serious. Now, the thing about it is, you and I have been friends now. I don't know if you do the math or I do the
20,
math.
20 plus.
It's been, yeah,
I've been
which
here 20
year?
years, 2001.
All right, so 20 years. So
Yeah,
yeah,
20
so you and I have
years.
been friends 20 years.
20
'Cause
almost, yeah,
I think we literally became friends like the year
immediately.
you came. I don't know, the day I met
January.
you.
January 2001.
The day I met you, you had a fast mouth. You were like, I was like, that's my friend, because no one else was getting my jokes. They're getting them now a little bit, but like I had this whole, fast talking, American thing going on. I'd lived in the States for a long time.
Yeah.
Steeped in
Yes.
sarcasm.
Yep.
And people were like, "What's wrong with her?" And you were laughing at my jokes, and I was
That's a
like,
New
"That's my
Yorker.
friend."
That's a New Yorker for you. Sarcasm.
Absolutely. I remember Marcia Mutu said that to me a few years before that, before I met you. She was like, "You're big city. That's the problem. You're big
Absolutely.
city." And thank you, Marcia, for telling me the truth because it was the truth.
You
She was
adapt
like, "People
easily.
don't get it." Yeah. So and so you and I have been friends for a very long time. We've gone through a lot of things.
Absolutely.
We're mothers together. We raised our children kind of side by side, I think, at that point.
Yes.
Like we were doing drop offs and pickups with school runs because we were both in the same profession. So we
Correct.
met as social workers.
Yes.
You came and found me at the Department of Children's
Absolutely.
almost ready to jump out or jump off the ledge. Kidding. And you're like, stop, come here, come on in. You've talked me off the ledge. I am just kidding, people, for real. But if you know the profession, you know that it is very taxing. It is hard. We are dealing with people's problems,
Absolutely.
along with our own.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to balance our life while trying to help people manage their lives, trying to be an advocate, really, really going hard for people and just trying to really walk that tightrope, Yeah. So that's kind of how we met. So yeah.
Especially in such a small community like this, where your work gets entwined with your home life.
Absolutely.
Very often.
Well, because the clients pull up to your yard. I know you're very famous for people pulling up to your yard all the time. Because I'm like, Lucille, what are you doing? I don't know where I live.
I didn't tell them where I lived.
They find out.
They find you.
And they come because I remember you told me a story. People come bring babies. Like, here, babysit this baby. And I said, what are you doing with that baby? Stop it. But you're right. And being a social worker in a larger place and coming here, you really different.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you also have like a different caseload too, which is interesting because in the States you have a really large caseload. But even here with having like maybe a quarter of the caseload, it's still very tough because people see you everywhere. And so you can't leave your problems at the office.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what we do. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you for your service because a lot of clients, when I left and went to do my master's, you took over quite a few of them, because, I had to like hand them over and stuff. And I remember, you were the social worker for some of the families that I had, grown to know and love. And so they kind of had us both now. I had one young lady say, I love you both, Miss Catherine. Don't worry, I love you too, but I love Miss Lucille now. You went and left me. So it was quite interesting. I just wanted to give that background because, as life had progressed and our families were growing, our children were growing up, and I moved around in my career. Yes. Yeah, because you're kind of in the same place. I don't want to say it like that, but
no,
the same
social work. Same company.
Yeah,
for 20 years.
20 years.
20 and almost 20 and a half years.
Wow. Yeah. So with you, you remaining there and me kind of coming out of there. So I went in community development, then I went to housing. And I just kept moving around. Right, because the legend stuff. I gotta keep it going. And so by doing that, we did kind of lose track of each other because when we were working every day, we'd see each other every day.
Right.
So we'd have lunch together, and we'd be able to do home runs, and we'd be able to do it, and we'd be able to pick up kids and drop off kids and all that stuff. And so our lives were very intertwined. But when we started to move around, I kind of lost track. And it was okay. It was one of those situations where You pick up the phone and you call the friend. It was
And
like
it's the
not a
same,
day has
right?
passed.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But I hadn't seen you. I think
Right.
the last time I had seen you was maybe around 2017, like right after I ran for elections or something.
Yeah, right around then.
It was some time, yeah, and it
And
had
we might
been
have
a
passed
long
by
time.
each other. As little as the community is, we still didn't run into each other
Right.
for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
Different time schedules, whatever. And I was always on the go.
Right.
And you on a different go.
Right. It's different.
So yeah.
They're trying to retire at 40. Didn't work. But anyway, what am I going to be doing home doing nothing anyway? But yeah, exactly. Just a totally different track. But so time had passed, and in 2017 we caught up, and I think we were just catching up with all those years that had passed and all that stuff. And then we were like, we're gonna call each other. We're gonna be in contact. Oh my gosh, this is my friend. This is my girl. Like forget it. And then time passed again. And
unfortunately, it went fast.
Absolutely. And then I ran into someone who said, "Hey, have you seen your friend Lucille?" And I said, "No, I haven't seen her in a while. It's been a long time." And I think I texted you, and it was like a different number or something. It was like a Christmas thing or something. And she said, "Yeah, I don't think she's well. I think something's going on with her." And I was like, "What? I gotta call her. I gotta find her."
Yeah.
And then I saw someone else, I think your stepdaughter, who said, "My mom has cancer." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It was like my whole world literally stood still. Because I'm thinking of my friend, 20 years ago, right? And I'm thinking of us growing together because we're like the same age. You're older than me, but and I'm so happy I can say that to somebody every now and then. It's what is it? 6 months, 7 months. I squeeze that to the end. Older than me, so but just being like friends with this person that you are. Same stage, same age, growing together. And then you hear this absolutely devastating thing, and you think, oh my goodness, like what's going on? Like that's my friend, and I haven't talked to her, and I don't know that's happening. And so then I, found my way to contact you to your house. And I was like, I know where you live. I asked the client, which road? I gotta go see her. Yeah, and I found you, and so now it's your turn. Tell us a little bit about that journey, because that's my journey of learning about this thing. Now you tell us.
Well, it was an interesting journey, I gotta say. It actually started with a car accident. Believe it or not, I was in a 7-car accident.
Oh my!
Right on
here?
Yeah, right by Alyssa Towers.
Okay.
I was the second car hit of the 6, and the 7th one was the actual person that hit us. Okay. We were at a dead stop in traffic, so we had nowhere to go.
Right.
And through the side effects of through the not side effects, but through the accident and different symptoms that were showing up, even though it wasn't major, thank God nobody was severely hurt. We walked out of the car, no bumps and bruises, a little whiplash, but nothing major.
Right.
But as things were popping up, I ended up going back and forth to the doctor to find out what's going on. And of course, as Catherine said, life gets really busy in social work with our families, life in general and stuff. And we end up neglecting ourselves because we're so busy taking care of everybody else.
Absolutely.
So because of the accident, my doctor brought to my attention, oh, by the way, you haven't gone for your mammogram in 3 years almost.
Wow.
And I usually faithfully went every year, but just time went by and quick, like she said, 3 years went by that we didn't see each other, but maybe once or twice without realizing how much time went by. So the same thing with my mammogram, I didn't do it. So when I went to it.
And this was 2020?
That was 2019. 2019. Okay. So the accident was May 2019 and the mammogram was August 2019.
Okay.
And that's when they said I had stage 0 and stage 1 cancer.
Okay.
So they sent me back and forth in tests. I went to Miami for 3 weeks to do further testing to confirm. And then they found the third spot, which again, they said was stage 1.
Okay.
Remained positive. My mom had it not once, but twice, 14 years apart. As I see it, I'm a more positive person, so I try and look at the good side.
Right.
Stage 1, stage 0.
Yeah, right.
My mom got through it twice. My sister-in-law got through it twice. Friends I know. it's not a death.
Yeah.
Cancer is no longer a death sentence for everybody.
Right. And
It's
definitely it
treatable.
wasn't in your family anyway. So you weren't in that mind frame that it was a death sentence because you
Right.
dealt with it
Exactly.
and you guys beat it
Exactly.
and it was good.
Correct.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Your
Right.
mind frame
So
is
I went on
crucial.
with every day. I went back to work, no problem. I kept positive. Everybody's like, How you doing this?" I said, "Because I will not let it hold me back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it control me. I'm going to now do what I got to do, take care of me." And I think that's way of um, the universe saying, "I need to slow down.
Right.
I need to start looking
Yeah.
about me instead of everybody else, because you're so used to taking care of everybody else that you don't think about your own self."
Right.
And we often neglect ourselves because of that, especially as mothers, number one.
Yeah.
Social workers, number two.
Right.
And wives and stuff like that. You're always worried about somebody else.
Right.
Our natural instinct to protect and take care of.
Right.
Anyway, so we did that. We went for further testing, and we did more testing again in December. They found the fourth spot. It was on the left side, and then from there, when we did my surgery in February, they opened me up and they found aggressive stage 3,
Oh,
which they were
wow.
worried that it was possibly stage 4, which is not curable, only treatable.
Okay.
Thank God, I must say. Again, I got to stay positive. It was, and with the support of family and friends who were there by my side, who was there, with me, whatever, colleagues and stuff like that, who, encouragement, the prayers, everything that they were doing.
Right.
I couldn't help but stay positive and say,
Yeah.
I got this. I'm going to
Yeah.
do whatever it takes to do it. It's just another chapter in my life that I got to go through.
Right. Right.
So I got to stay strong because I'm not a quitter.
Right.
Maybe in dieting, but
Yeah.
but not life itself.
Right.
But
Right.
seriously,
Yeah, you'll quit dieting.
yeah,
Okay.
and exercise,
Okay.
even though I'm on the move all the time.
Right.
But seriously, I wasn't a quitter, and I said I'm not going to let this hold me back. So I went back to my work. I do everything I got to do. When they did the surgery and they found out it was stage 3, they confirmed that it didn't go further. But now a new treatment plan had to happen. We were
Right.
supposed to go back to work right away. I ended up having to go for chemotherapy for 5 months. That was right before that happened. COVID came and
Oh,
shut down the world.
dear.
So that
Right.
delayed treatment again.
Because you were supposed to go
I was
abroad.
supposed to go abroad again.
Okay.
After the surgery, I came back home for 2 weeks, and I was supposed to go
And the
back.
surgery is a mastectomy?
I had a bilateral.
Yeah.
I chose to do a bilateral
Double. So you
mastectomy.
just, okay.
Because it came back, like I said, with my mom. She got it one breast one time and the other breast the next time.
So you
So
said,
to me, it was
forget
just, let me just go for the two things and not
Okay.
have to worry about it 16 years when I'm older or 14 years away or whenever.
Right.
But
So you got that done here?
no, I got that done in the States.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
you came back home.
And then it came back home, supposed to be for 2 weeks, but then everything shut down for COVID.
Oh my.
And I never made it back to the U.S.
So
So
you
I
had
ended
to
up
do
having to do the
chemo here.
chemo here.
Okay.
Put the port in, do the chemo for 5 months. It was a challenge.
And that was HSA?
Yeah,
Okay.
HSA. We did it, and they're wonderful staff there,
Yeah.
without a doubt, very caring. They looked out. They had patience for you.
Right.
They made sure that you were okay. They checked in on you, and so on and so forth. And so I had a wonderful experience there for what I had to do. They were
Right.
great.
Well, that's really good to know because when you mentioned COVID happened, I mean, like it was so just touch and go in the beginning, right? When we were shut down. So
Yeah.
you now had to actually go to the hospital in the midst of all of that. So how frightening was that?
And find a new team, because my team was in the U.S.
Okay.
So I didn't even contact any of the staff over here or the doctors over here for my cancer treatment. So I had to go to my general practitioner and say, I urgently need, because I don't think we're getting back there by May 1st either, because I don't think the airports are opening.
Right.
Because my doctor in the States said you could come May 1st for the chemotherapy.
Right.
And put the port in and so on and so forth. But we knew what government was doing at that point. So I said, no, this is obviously not going to open up. And all this, what do they call, the updates that they provided and stuff, the conferences and so on and so forth. So we ended up going, I got my team, he set it up with the doctor, and within one day I saw 4 doctors. I never got through the hospital in my life
Wow.
that quickly.
Wow.
because there was nobody there. They were only taking emergencies.
Okay.
So I got done with 4 doctors. I was shocked.
Right. Yeah.
Usually it's one day just to get through one, and you're
Right.
lucky you get that in 3 months away.
Right.
So I
Four
was able to
hours
see.
in the
Right.
emergency room sometimes.
Right. So I
Okay.
got through with 4 different doctors in one day just because of the cancer.
Wow.
And the COVID actually was a plus for that part, but negative because you weren't sure what was it about.
Of course.
Was I going to be more susceptible? Was I,
That's
all that
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So when I did the chemo, when I started the chemotherapy, I was getting low-grade fevers. So they even wouldn't let me do the treatment one time because my fever was almost 100, and that was a side effect of the chemotherapy. But they had to make sure I didn't have COVID.
Okay.
So of course I had to get sent to the flu clinic, and I'm like, I'm not going to the flu clinic.
Right. Hello.
I mean, I have no immune system right now. You just broke it down. You want me to? So
Right.
they made a special arrangement for me to go in through a different door, stay in a separate room away from everybody, and they did the COVID test. I was negative. So the next day or the next week, I was able to do my treatment because they found out that one of the side effects for me was the low grade fevers.
Okay.
So even though COVID is usually over 100.
Right.
Mine was 99.9, 99.1. It was a regular thing when I did the chemotherapy.
Right.
Yeah.
But at that time, we'd be like,
but at
oh
that
my
time, because it
goodness.
was still a scare of what COVID was,
Right.
they wouldn't let me go. So it delayed my treatment another week and so on and so forth. So, like I said, I mean, I told them ahead of time I had fever because I didn't want to put the other ladies or people, I can't say ladies, because it wasn't just ladies in there. I didn't want to put the other chemo patients at risk. So I made sure before I even entered, I had to tell them, by the way, I have a fever. I think it's the side effect.
Okay.
My voice was hoarse. It could have been a little cold going on, but I think that, again, was a side effect.
Right.
So, but just to be on the safe side for everybody's. So we did that.
Yeah.
And I did that for 5 months. And let me tell you, the last 2 weeks of it, I almost didn't want to show up because it was, I mean, while I felt I did really well. They felt I did extremely well. I was miserable. I was cranky.
It made you ill as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you weren't feeling well.
Yeah,
I remember
it
calling
drained
you a
you.
couple of times,
Yeah.
and
There's some days you couldn't sleep because the steroids that are in the medicine. You didn't sleep for the whole night, and you would fall asleep the daytime. And then there's days that you slept 14, 15, 16 hours, and every time you turn around, you're sleeping.
Right.
And then again, COVID, you don't want to be outside around anybody, so you're stuck to your house.
Right.
And at that time when I was doing it, I didn't have AC throughout my house, so I basically stayed in the bedroom because the heat. I was breaking out a rash from the heat and all that stuff from.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that it was like you don't want to be around anybody because you don't want to put yourself at risk. You couldn't risk a cold. Anybody came to the house because I have 2 boys. So if their friends came over, listen, if anybody's sick, go back home. Don't come back until after.
Right.
I had to make sure I warned people. They knew I was all to go through chemo, so they were very good with that. No, we're good. We wouldn't do that to you, and so on and so forth. Because these are boys that they grew up with from young.
Right.
And they're big men now, and so on and so forth. So that was that. So I did the chemotherapy here for 5 months, and then a month later they sent me to Miami because of urgency. Even though COVID was still a major issue, because of the seriousness of my diagnosis, they needed me to do radiation. So they sent me away with on the premises that I was able to get the radiation immediately.
Okay.
So I went there in October, middle of October. By November 5th, I was doing radiation. I had 6 weeks of radiation. And then it took a while to get back home because of COVID again, with travel restrictions and so on and so forth, and coordination. I ended up coming home 2 months later.
Yeah. So when you went to do the radiation, then how was that experience? Because obviously, I know the difference because I lived in Miami, so I know your mom lives in West Palm Beach.
Right.
And, so tell us about that whole kind of because of COVID.
The radiation, I was a little bit different. I actually had to stay in Miami. My mom lives in West Palm Beach, so that's an hour and a half away from the hospital. So we couldn't commute. That was a big, because radiation was 5 days a week.
Right.
And so what we did was we stayed at a hotel in Miami for the 6 weeks, and it was every day except for Saturday and Sunday, except for when we had the Thanksgiving holiday. They had a 4-day break, so they actually did it on Sunday the following week. So that was a 6-day week for me with radiation. The radiation was actually not bad, believe it or
Okay.
not.
Okay.
It's process is about maybe anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes. The radiation is only about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's more about
Okay.
about them positioning you to ensure that you're in the exact position every time and you can't move for that 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Well, how did you do with that?
it was difficult, but I had no choice because I didn't want to damage anything else.
Okay.
The type of radiation I had was targeted to the specific area of the cancer. And it wasn't until the day before that my skin started like giving issues, which is typically when, because they said the radiation, while they're giving you the radiation doesn't hurt initially. Like the whole time you're doing the radiation, it doesn't hurt.
Right.
Unless your skin breaks, then you might have an issue.
Right.
My skin didn't break until 2 days before, and it was on the side that they took the lymph nodes out,
Okay.
so I didn't feel it.
Okay.
It was later on when, after the chemotherapy, after the radiation finished, they said the radiation cooks you still for another 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
It was when the skin under my breast actually broke that it's like third-degree burn type,
Okay.
or it's second-degree burn, whatever. So you have burn, you have to put burn cream on and all that stuff.
And
It
it was
wasn't
painful?
on. It was extremely painful,
Okay.
and that was like for a week or two.
Okay.
A good week was strong, but the pain was persistent for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not extreme, but the first week was torture when it finally did happen. But after that, we did skin checks and stuff, and they said I'm healing well, and so on and so forth. And they officially cleared me of all cancer in January.
Okay.
They said the cancer's gone. They took it away. They took it all out in the surgery. They zapped it with the chemotherapy for 5 months, and then they did the radiation for another 6 weeks to ensure there's nothing whatsoever left.
Right.
So I did a PET scan to say I had no more cancer.
And
So I'm thankful.
And this is good old cynical, right?
Yeah, good old
To,
cynical.
to appreciate also
Yes,
the
absolutely.
level of care that you received, and that you
Yes.
didn't have any worry about
Yes.
anything.
It was while there was no worry as far as the medical treatment goes, there was worry about financial. Because when you while you got assistance with housing, you had to worry about meals, you had to worry about gas, you had to worry about tolls when you're back and forth to doctors and so on and so forth. So the living expenses in general, they add up, especially when you have household income and to support as well.
Right.
You have your regular bills that didn't go away, they didn't because you went away.
Right.
Your bills are there, your mortgage is there, your lights, your water, everything is still there. And plus now you have to survive in Miami because the cynical, while they pay all your medical expenses and they pay your housing for the period of time that you're in hotel, the rest is on you.
Right.
Anything extra.
Right.
And groceries, even there, inflation has gone up. While it's cheaper than here by far, it is still costly when you're having yourself. My mom, I had a medical escort that came with me because I couldn't carry much. I don't have the strength in my arms and so on and so forth.
Right.
And so I obviously, the balance was off, so there's a lot of things from the chemotherapy that I'm still not quite 100%. I still get tired from being out for a few hours. When I go home, I'm drained, so it's part of life, but it's getting back to normal.
Right.
So in time, it will.
Right.
It'll be back to normal, however it is. Whatever normal is, it may not be what I'm doing, what I did before, but it's going to be what I'm going to be doing later.
It's your normal then.
And right.
I mean,
and I plan
normal,
on.
Yeah,
right.
Our normal now isn't our normal when we're 30.
No, absolutely not.
So every normal, just, you know what I mean? You
It's
adjust
changed.
to it, and
Exactly.
you know
I don't plan on
relax.
doing everything for everybody anymore. I got to start taking care of me and let some people. And that was hard to adapt.
All right,
That was hard to adapt.
Well, we're
to
going to come back and talk about that. We're going to take a quick break now, but that's some of the stuff that I want to talk about in the second half hour. Just what was going through your mind kind of at that time, and what are some of the things that you learned, and just how it affected you, and going forward, what are some of the things that you've changed. And I think that would be really good for the audience to hear. But thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I really appreciate that. This is, it's a very serious subject, but it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, and it's what we live and what we experience, and it's a part of the journey.
So absolutely.
You're listening to Lucille Bodden. We're talking about her story, having stage 3 breast cancer. Having left that mammogram out kind of thing for 3 years. And this is Wellness Wednesdays. Catherine Tyson. I'm your host. This is Straight Talk Your Drive at 5 show. We will be back in just a few minutes. Stay right there.
Yeah. So am I on?
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It is Wellness Wednesday, and we are talking to Lucille Bodden. Actually, she's a social worker with the Cayman Islands government, and just living her life, just walking and living and, just doing what she has to do and taking care of people and taking care of the community as a social worker. And then finds out she has cancer. And so life became a little different.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, Lucille. So back to the conversation. We had started talking a little bit about, your experience with your did your 5 months of chemotherapy,
Right.
And is that normal? That's a normal 5 months is pretty normal for you don't
I
know.
believe for the breast cancer, I believe it's 5 months.
Okay.
Well, technically, there's a lot of different types of breast cancer, believe it or not.
Right.
So I'm not
sure.
100% sure if it's
Right.
the
And you don't ask
norm.
questions like me. Like I
No.
would be knowing everybody. I know
No, I
all
don't
this
answer those
stuff.
questions.
I go with a list with the doctors. They see me coming. They're like, oh, here she go again.
I have my questions, but that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
It's just
Is this normal? Okay.
not
yeah.
everybody wants to share their story,
Yeah.
so you try and
Yeah.
keep it like
Yeah, I just would want to
you
know
feel them
like
out.
if it's normally like 2 months or if it's 3 months or what is that? But yours was 5 months.
Well,
Like, how did they come up with that time
because
frame?
there's two medications you have to take is 2 months,
Okay.
and then the third medication you have to take is 3 months.
Okay.
So
okay.
technically, that's one of like those are the known medications that they use for breast cancer.
Right.
So typically, the majority of the people probably will use those same medications
Okay.
because the U.S. was going to use the same ones that they did down here.
Okay.
So it must be a standard.
Okay. For that.
Yeah, from reading the literature and stuff. But I'm sure there's other different types of treatment as well, because different types of breast cancer may require maybe a fourth medication, or maybe they might need a stronger one or something like that.
Right.
But those are the standard one for the type that I had.
Okay. All right. And so you got through that and you did that in Cayman, and then you traveled to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
In Miami, and then you did your radiation. And how long was that?
That was 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you were stuck for 2 months.
Right.
You weren't even able to get home.
Right.
So, I mean, this obviously, it would have required a lot of support from your family and
Absolutely.
understanding,
Absolutely.
what's going on with mom.
Hmm.
Moms that your son just called you
Yeah.
during the break. And so, now it's like, okay, I got to take care of mom.
Right. Hmm.
How did that go? How'd
She
they
was taking
do?
care of me actually.
Yeah.
She was taking, which is something I wasn't used to. People, well, yeah, once
Well, I
upon a
was talking about
time,
your children. Now
that
you're talking about your mom.
right. You
Yeah.
said mom,
No, I
my
said
mom
no
in
because
Miami.
your son called you, and I said,
Oh,
that mom takes care of everything, and now you got to
right,
take care of mom. So I was
right.
talking about your son's
Okay,
taking care
gotcha.
of you.
Yeah, no, they actually look out. It they know that I can't do everything anymore. It
Yeah.
was a while that I couldn't cook because I couldn't use my, believe it or not, I couldn't cut with a knife
Wow.
without being safe.
So it affected your
Yeah,
fingertips.
my fingertips and my feet.
Oh wow.
Um,
It's getting better.
it's getting better. Yes, it's
Okay.
getting
So
better.
now you can cook.
I still use caution
Okay.
and just not always want to do
Right.
it.
You know what's wrong with my fingers. You get in there and cook,
So
please.
they've been fending for themselves. Thank God they're old enough to fend for themselves, and I don't have
Absolutely.
to take care of them. They're not babies anymore. They're not little boys anymore.
Did
They're
you hear
big men.
yourself? I want you to repeat it and hear it.
They're not babies anymore.
Exactly, because
they're
we need
big.
to
They're
remind
big men. While
ourselves.
they still need a mommy, they still could do their things on their own.
Right, for
So
sure.
and it was while I was home and stuff like that for my treatment, my chemotherapy. My sister was on the phone with me daily to make
Right,
sure that whenever I was in there to make check on me, even though she
right.
lives in New York.
She lives in New
Thank
York,
God for
yeah.
WhatsApp and FaceTime and all that stuff because
Right,
it was my part of my support system. My mom calls from West Palm Beach. My
right,
son is married, so they live with me. So she cooked for me. His wife, she would cook for me. She would bring food up to me, whatever, because she knew I couldn't do it.
right.
So I have that. I have to be thankful to them too.
Good,
While I
yeah.
still do things for them, they did a lot for me.
Right,
They know
yeah,
I can't clean
yeah.
the way I could have before, so she'll do the cleaning and dishes and stuff if I can't stand for long and so on and so forth. So it's good. My younger son, also an adult, he knows that he has to look out for his food. If I'm not, he'll call. You doing anything for dinner? If not, do you need me to pick up anything? That type of thing. So
Right.
I have that,
And
type
that's
thing.
good.
My husband, he'll cook sometimes more than what he used to, whatever,
Yeah. And
because
he's a great cook,
yeah,
too.
oh, he's a amazing cook.
Right.
I wish he would do it more
Yeah,
often,
I've,
but
I've had some food from him. He's a good cook,
so
so
he'll
yeah.
cook more often. He'll get things for me, knowing that I can't, or if I can't reach because I can't stretch as far as I used to, or I can't lift
And you're
heavier
about
things.
4 foot two. So how high were you stretching before? I'm joking, but
That's
it's
the truth. I climbed.
not a big joke.
It's not big. It's not far from the truth.
Right. But it's the stretching
It's
that
the
that
stretching
changed.
and the strength.
Okay.
I don't have the
Right.
strength to lift that I used
Okay.
to.
You'd be like my grandmother. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if I grab you today, though, I can't catch you, but
The strength
I'll
is
sit
coming
on you.
back, but the
All
strength is
right.
coming back, but still it has to be. I have to be
Yeah.
cautious.
And you did mention your mom. So let's go back for a second with
Hmm.
your mom because your mom did experience
Yes.
breast cancer as well, and she had it the first time, and you were a grown up both times.
Yes.
Okay, so you were kind of there with her,
Correct.
understood what she went through, and then it came back, so you were there again.
Right.
So you kind of knew the whole thing. So the tables turned at that point,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I found out, I wouldn't. My mom's a worrywart, unlike me.
Right.
So my family was more worried about what I was.
Right.
To me, it was just it's a diagnosis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
And you basically told them, don't even cry,
Don't
bother
worry.
me
Don't
with
stress.
that,
Right. But
don't bring that here.
as strong as they were trying to be, they were stressed, and
Right.
you could see it.
Of
You could
course.
hear it.
Yeah,
They're
because you're a
looking.
glue. You're a
Yeah.
glue in that family.
Right.
And you're
So
sunshine. You're amazing. You're an
so
amazing human.
I just had to. It's gonna be okay. Whatever it is, it's gonna be okay. So
Right.
don't stress. I
Right.
got this.
Yeah.
So thank God I have the supportive family that I do. So my mom, she was cooking, she was cleaning, not cleaning. I mean, my daughter was doing a lot of that too, because she
Right.
was up there with me the whole time. So she was, while I was here doing radiation, chemotherapy, she wouldn't allow me out of the car
Right. Right.
because the kids weren't allowed in. So I stayed in the car, watched the kids.
Yeah.
She did my shopping, she paid my bills, she whatever I needed, she
And
did.
that's one of your bonus kids.
Right.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
Yeah. She loves you. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
It's really
And
great.
then so when we were at my mom's house, she was also with me. So she had a baby right after my diagnosis. So she was my little sunshine in my
Right.
to keep me entertained.
Right. Because
Watching her
babies
grow, because I
are.
love the babies.
Yeah, I
Those are
know
my
you
favorite.
do. Yeah.
Those are my
You
favorite.
had the clients' babies at your house. So yeah, I know. So yeah, because one thing about kids, they're gonna play and laugh, and so they keep you bright.
Yeah, exactly. So while I couldn't hold her as often as I wanted to, she's a grandma's girl for sure.
Right.
She wanted grandma no matter what.
And you guys still got that little bond.
So we still have that little bond.
How old is she now?
She turned a year in November, so let's see, about 18 months.
Oh wow.
18 months.
All right. She's getting near those terrible twos now.
Oh yeah, she's determined. She's strong. She was stronger than me. We'd have a fight over the remote.
Right. And she'd win.
And she'd win. And her mother got it on video too.
Oh, that's
and that was when she was before a year old. I was like, where'd she get this strength from?
That's
my mother.
Funny. That's funny. And kids know too. They realize that she's gonna win this fight.
So she was with us up in Miami, West Palm Beach with my mom. So my mom, she was taking care of me. She would get me tea or whatever, as much as she could. And so was my daughter. And then at times when I wanted, all right, I think I'm ready to do this. No, let me do it. No, I need to start doing something for myself because I gotta get back on track.
Right.
Because I can't expect somebody to do something for me every day.
Of course.
All the time. I need to start getting the stretching in, the walking, all that stuff in I can't just sit around and do nothing.
Right.
When I'm trying to get stronger.
Right.
So little by little, I would take on some responsibility of my own rather than making my mom, and they check, are you okay? I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. If I'm not okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Type
they
thing.
Want to make sure you're
right.
Okay.
They just want to make sure that I was okay.
Yeah.
Because they know what I went through and so on and so forth, and they seen what I was, what was happening and so on and so forth. So I went to spoons twisted in my hand without me realizing it. My daughter's like, well, maybe I should make her feed herself. Right. She might make all some of it. I told you.
Right.
My hands do whatever they want to do. Okay. I don't have control like I had before.
Oh, wow.
Or the phone would drop on my face or whatever if you're talking to somebody on FaceTime. Okay. Those type of things. I didn't have the strength and the coordination for a good long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though she's older, she helped me as much as she could. Medicine, she needed to go to the grocery store because we ran out of something. She would go to the grocery store. If we didn't go with her, we had to wear a mask everywhere we went because remember, COVID is bigger and stronger in the U.S. than it is here, especially in Miami.
Right.
West Palm Beach wasn't as bad as Miami was,
but it was
still
everywhere.
Mask everywhere. Okay. We had to wear a mask everywhere. Okay. We had to use our hand sanitizer everywhere. In and out of the car, we put it on. When we got in the store, we put it on. Right. It's becoming part of life.
Yeah, I know you went to Walmart.
Yeah, we went to Walmart.
Come on.
And the sad part is the babies aren't even afraid of people with masks.
Right.
Because it's normal to them.
Gotten used to it now.
It's normal. As far as they're concerned, it's normal. Yeah. And that's a scary thing.
It is.
It's a scary thing.
They're not wearing masks now, though. I think Florida is no mask, right?
Not that I'm aware of. My mom still wears a mask.
I thought someone told me that Florida was not doing the mask anymore. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know Georgia.
I came back in February, and February was still mandatory.
Okay. All right.
In Florida.
All right. Well, I feel sometimes like we're in this bubble here, and we have no idea what's happening, and just some of the information is so scarce, and people are still posting on Facebook like they're living their life golden. But
some
that's
people aren't afraid of it.
Yeah.
Some people think it's a virus. It's a cold. It's like a common cold.
Right.
You'll get the virus. It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Yeah. Most of the people are asymptomatic. A small percentage of people die from it, but at the same time, look how many people in the world died from it.
Right.
Yes, we have a large population in the world. You have to take it seriously because you never know who's going to be that person that dies.
Yeah.
So even if it's that 0.1% or 1%, that person could be you. Yeah. You don't know.
That's true.
You don't know.
So what would we say was kind of going through your mind, from the time you found out to, your treatments and stuff? Like, here you are, a social worker, save the world, one child at a time, one family at a time. Lines really advocating for people, dealing with your own stuff every day and managing through that, but it not occurring to you that, okay, I could be sick, and I could, get a diagnosis that I'm stage 3 cancer, and it could completely change my life. What's going through your mind when that happened to you?
Honestly, I left it in the hands of God.
Yeah.
I
Do you
didn't
think
make it bother
your
me.
faith was strengthened then?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I always believed, I always had faith and stuff like that, but I just left it where continue the prayers, continue what will be is my destiny. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I couldn't think of the negative. I couldn't
Right.
think, I mean, I wasn't ready to go. So I
Right.
prayed that I'd get through whatever God was putting before me, you know, but I was prepared for whatever. And I wasn't going to I wasn't going to let it hold me back at all.
Right.
So I didn't make it be negative. There was one time I got scared, and that was my first treatment of chemotherapy. And they didn't tell me I wasn't gonna be able to fall asleep. They didn't tell me. They told me about the nausea, possible vomiting, and so they didn't tell me about the headache, the excruciating headache.
Wow.
So that night,
The
when
side
everybody else
effects.
was sleeping, while everybody else was sleeping, I was awake and couldn't fall asleep. TV, I was uncomfortable. I was nauseous. Um, my head was pounding, and it wasn't until like 6:30 in the morning before I finally able actually. So reality was starting to set in.
Right.
But they said the second and third day was going to be worse than the first day. I said, if this is what it's like now,
Oh
what am I going
my.
to go through tomorrow next day? So when I fell
Wow.
asleep, when I finally got rid of the headache, I was able to fall asleep because it was pounding. And I was scared at that point. But the next day was fine. The day after that was fine.
Okay.
So
So you
that was
never
the worst.
experienced that again. So
Not
that was
that,
maybe the
not today.
first.
So what I found out was you have to drink more water.
Oh,
Simple
okay.
as drinking more water would
Okay.
get rid of the headache. So
Oh,
now,
wow.
when I seen the headache come on, I made sure I drink plenty of water.
Right.
Even though I was drinking water regularly, I guess I didn't have enough because I didn't know if I was going to be vomiting or not. I didn't want to drink too much and have more in my stomach.
Right.
So I try to curb how much I drank. But he said, no, if you drink more water, when a headache came on next time, because I went every 2 weeks for that. Those two medications, only
Okay.
every 2 weeks
Okay.
for four treatments at every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I had it. I got it. The side effects that I was able to handle. So yeah, I was nauseous a little bit. Yeah, I was lightheaded. Yeah, I just had to be more cautious.
Right.
So to be scared, I wasn't scared after that.
Right.
But that
Okay.
first day when reality sank in that, oh my God, I'm doing chemotherapy
Right.
and I don't like the way this day feels. And he said, this is a good day.
Yeah.
That's when.
What's a good day?
So after that, I was fine after that.
That's
But then I
good.
started getting miserable towards the end because the other treatment was starting to kick in. Your bones hurt. The side effects for that,
Okay.
But like I said, tried to stay as positive, continue with the, like you said, sarcasm, humor. I didn't make people. I'm laughing. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with my family and my sister. Remember, from New York. We live on sarcasm.
Right.
So we're joking all the time, and everyone's like, they must think you're crazy there because
Yeah.
our radiation cracking up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like keep that
I
going.
said, well, why should I stop laughing?
Yeah.
Because it's the best medicine, they say. So
You're right.
if you're joking, I'm joking. I could take a joke on myself. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. And I found that like whenever I would talk to you, you'd always video talk to me, and I sometimes I just look at you and I take like a still shot, like I just take a picture, and I just think, look how how positive she's being, and look at what she's going through, and because what you looked like was very different. So
right.
you with the no hair and
Right.
stuff, you didn't look well.
Right.
Not the Lucille.
No
I
color.
know exactly.
No
like
eyebrows.
yeah. So it was just like, and you're laughing and happy, and I was just like, my goodness, like I'm looking at my friend here. I never thought I'd be in this situation. And so what it helped me do is stop grumbling about my life. So anything that didn't help. Anything I was mad about, like I'd always think, you shut up right now, you brute, ungrateful brute. I'm saying that to myself.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me because of your attitude. Your attitude was so positive. It was like, I'm fighting this. I'm going to be fine. It's going to be great. I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'm coming through.
Yep.
And so that was so inspirational to me.
Hmm.
And I know sometimes like we talk about our memory, right?
Hmm.
Mine is not because of the same reason, but we're about the same age.
Yeah,
You're older than
right.
me, but and so you'd say, well, I didn't remember. I was gonna call you. I don't know. Sometimes I don't remember something.
Yeah,
And so we were both kind of like, well, how are we gonna figure this
yeah,
out?
exactly.
Because let's put it in the
Exactly.
calendar.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
yeah. So I think just seeing you in that light was just amazing, and you know to share it with the audience today, that it wasn't a death sentence for you.
Yeah.
It was you saying, you know what, it's a part of my journey.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
what's
Yeah.
happening to me. So how next
Right.
thing, because
Exactly.
it's part of life,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And so what would you think some of the things are that you learned, and now what do you kind of prioritize? Like what's the difference?
Mm. The
Because it's
things
not your
that
new normal. Like your
right.
life is a new
Um,
normal.
just enjoy. You gotta enjoy your family. You gotta enjoy your life. You gotta enjoy your friends. Do things for yourself. I gotta start taking care of myself. I gotta do better.
You do. You
I
should say
gotta.
that again.
Yeah. I definitely gotta do better for
Yes,
myself.
yes. Take some
And
time for you. Take
yeah,
care of you.
I mean, the heat doesn't really help the situation.
Right. I read on Facebook yesterday a friend put respectful.
It is. It
She's
is.
in Texas. She's like, this
Oh,
is just
jeez. It's.
disrespectful. And you're always hot.
I'm
So
always hot.
it
I
reminded
used
me
to
of
always
you.
be cold, but now I'm always hot. Ever since the chemotherapy, I've
Oh,
been,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
I always just have a sweater in office,
All
always.
right.
Everybody's like, aren't you from New York? Yeah, that's why I moved from New York, because I
Okay.
couldn't take the cold.
Right.
I like the heat more than the cold, but I don't like either.
Right. So you didn't really fall in love with the
Right.
man. You're like, where
No.
are you from? Okay, that's where I'm going.
It was safer.
Cayman Island. That's where I'm. I love you.
It was safer here for the children.
Exactly.
And then Miami, where I was working as a social worker
Right.
for years, so I had
Right.
to get out of there.
Right.
And came south, further south.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, I gotta do more for me and
So
not.
when you say that, what does that mean? I want to know. I want you to tell me what that means because I want you to hear yourself and I want you to commit to yourself. So what does that mean that I have to take care of myself? I have to do better for myself. What does that mean to you?
Means well, it means a lot of things, but and now I gotta get to do them. I gotta like exercise. I
Right.
gotta eat a little healthier than I
Right.
have been
Like
doing a little bit
some
better.
vegetables in
Oh,
there.
I always ate vegetables. That
Okay.
was never my issue. It just
No fries.
no, that's not an issue either.
Okay.
It's just junk. It's the
Okay.
sweets. Mine
Ah.
is the sweets, not food.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah,
snacks and
yeah.
stuff.
Snacks is my
What's
my
your
issue.
favorite thing then that you think is
Candy,
really? Yeah. Like what kind of candy?
sweet candy. I need like Twizzlers and
Okay.
those,
Really.
yeah, taffies.
Really.
Yeah,
Okay.
we grew up on those things.
So
Yeah,
you can't
not a
pass
big
them.
fan of chocolate. I could have chocolate in my house for a year and it would
Yeah.
still sit there. Once in a while,
Okay.
you feel for it, but no, I'm not into the cakes and things like that. I'll eat them once in a while, but small candies.
I don't even
That's my
remember you
weakness.
eating candy. So when do you eat this stuff? When do you get it?
All the time.
Okay, because I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, I remember
yeah,
fries.
yeah. No, that was it. That was just with
Do you know why
meals.
I remember fries? Because you'd actually eat fries before you ate the
Right,
sandwich.
because you can't eat those hot.
And
I
I
mean,
was
you can't
like,
eat those
you
cold.
eat that without, like, what are you doing?
Fries don't taste good cold.
So every time I'm eating fries, I think of you, like, and I'm trying not to
The
eat that
sandwich
too
could
much.
taste okay
Yeah,
if it's a little colder, but fries
but
they have to
not the
eat it hot.
fries.
Yeah,
Get those out of the way.
they have to be hot.
Yeah. All right. So definitely taking care of yourself.
Taking care of myself, doing more for myself instead of everybody else.
Yeah, and the only reason that I'm kind of, putting her to the fire here for the listeners and say, why is this woman pushing her? Because I know you, and I
Mhm.
know how much you take care of everybody else, and I
You're
know
right,
how
and
much you
everything.
do not put yourself on the list.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so that's the reason I'm saying that to
Hmm.
you, because yeah, you have gone through a really serious thing in
Hmm.
your life,
Hmm.
and you've come out on the other end. So now you're cancer free.
Cancer free, thank God.
All
Yes,
right.
I could say that with
And
confidence.
and you waited. I think you had to wait in Miami to get that result, or that was here.
No, they said okay. All along they were saying from surgery on, I was cancer free.
Okay.
They got all the cancer, but they still want to do the chemotherapy because the
Right.
little cells, whatever, minuscule cells, whatever, just for precaution. The radiation, the same thing. They want to make sure they killed whatever.
Right.
So I did a PET scan. The doctor in January gave me the clear that I was cancer free. We did a PET scan
Right.
in September over here, and it showed that there was no cancer.
Right.
So we did a follow up one April, and again it confirmed no cancer.
Okay.
So I got both in Miami and here confirmed that I was cancer free.
Right.
So
Okay.
since January they gave me the survivor. I'm a survivor of cancer.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
So I
that
got
must
my
that must feel
certificates.
good.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Good.
know that I got through it. It was rough, but I got through it. It was
Yeah.
could have been worse.
Absolutely. So what
Yeah.
are some of the follow-up things that you're doing now after?
I have to do physio.
Okay.
I do acupuncture. I just got the port taken out, so I haven't been able to do those things.
Okay.
To work on the shoulders and the tightness in the chest or the arm or whatever, because they took out the lymph nodes in the left
Okay.
side, because the cancer was in the lymph nodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was on the skin and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that was part of the aggressive 3. When they got
Okay.
the diagnosis, it was aggressive 3. All along before I had the surgery, they all thought it was stage 1.
Okay.
It wasn't until they opened me up that they found that it was aggressive 3.
Right.
So good thing I had already prepared myself mentally for them to do the bilateral mastectomy.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have woke up without a breast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was already prepared for it. So they weren't prepared for it. So
Oh, because when they saw that, they're
yeah,
like, we're taking it
they
off.
had no choice but to
Okay.
take, yeah, because it
Okay.
was in the skin, the lymph nodes, everything. So
Now, what
yeah.
about, I guess, reconstructive surgery? Are you planning to do that?
I actually did it the same day. More has to be done, but I'm not in a rush for that.
Okay.
To me, it's not a big rush.
Yeah, because some people,
Yeah.
that's some people's,
So-
like they feel very strongly
Yeah.
about that. And I know they were,
No, they
They
did
were-
the reconstruction. They did believe it or not, in Miami, they do it the same day.
oh, okay.
They almost thought, because I had to do, when they found out what stage it was, they almost made me want to take. They almost wanted to take out the implants,
Okay.
because of the fact that I had to do chemotherapy and radiation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the plastic surgeon who did the implants, they said no, she could do it. It should be safe. We'll monitor her after the
So you
thing.
got implants.
So I
then.
got implants, but there's still some corrective surgery that they have to do, because of they couldn't finish what they were doing. They just opened me up, did what they had to do, put the inserts in, and then I have to go back. So
Okay.
he said I couldn't do anything until 6 months after the radiation.
Okay.
So 6 months is right now to do anything like that.
Right.
It's
So
just
when
too
you're
much.
ready, you're ready.
Yeah, when I'm ready,
Okay.
I'm ready. So
Now,
next year probably.
I know a couple of people had mentioned too. I think Jennifer Weaver from the Cancer Society had mentioned that when they do the reconstructive, that they do like they throw a tummy tuck in.
Yeah, right. I wish.
Is that not true?
No.
That's what I heard. I heard a couple of people
It
got
depends.
that.
It depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the procedure.
You
It
sign up
depends.
for that?
I asked for it. They said no.
No, I actually heard that.
No,
A
they
couple
do.
people
They
said,
do for
yeah.
some.
Okay.
They actually use from what I understand, they use the fat from your stomach to put it in
Oh,
implants.
Okay.
But that's a like 13, 14-hour surgery.
Okay. Yeah.
So because of the surgery that I had, they said they weren't prepared for me to be under for 13, 14. Just trust me, I have plenty of stomach
Right.
to go into the breast,
Okay.
and
So
be a
whenever
nice
they're
size.
ready.
So I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
but
got
it's
the
up to
implants.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would have loved it, but they said for the 13, 14-hour surgery, they're not.
Right.
That's a higher risk surgery.
It's the
So
priority at this
yeah,
point,
the
right?
weight doesn't help. So
Okay.
that would be another thing now I have to think about with my weight, is
Okay.
I would have to lose before I even go there to that
Oh,
level.
Okay.
Because the heavier you are, the more dangerous the anesthesia is.
Okay.
It depends on what health you're in, which I'm in good health otherwise.
Right.
It just, they weren't prepared at that time to do 13 hours of surgery.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So 5 hours was more than enough.
Yeah. Well, I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely. So now, we're getting ready to close, and I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know you were a little apprehensive. What are you going to ask me? What's going to happen? I'm like, we're just going to be talking. That's it. And I just want you to just talk to people listening about when something like this happens, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what would be some of your kind of thoughts that you would want to share with somebody listening about this whole experience?
So, some of the thoughts to remain positive. It's not, like I said, it's not a death sentence for everybody, and gravitate to people who are positive. There are so many people out there that are negative, and they worry and they make you more scared than what you should be. So to me, there was I love my mother to death, and there was times where, Mom, if you're going to be negative, I'm going to put you out of the office.
Okay.
I need you to be positive. If they said it's good, this, yes, we need to know the possibility, but don't bring that up first.
Right.
Let's hear what they have to say and work towards that day.
Okay.
So I need you to be, and she's a worry wart. So
Yeah.
everything stress
Well,
it
you're
up.
her daughter, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, so stay with people that are positive. And like I said, she would do anything for me.
Yeah.
So while she helped me, there was times that I had to stay positive.
Right.
I'm positive. I'm fine.
Right.
You need to be fine. You're
Yeah.
gonna be. I'm gonna be fine. So you're fine. You have
Right.
to just remind them.
So
You know,
what I
so
heard with that is really good, and it's a good advice to our listeners is that even it could be a mom, it can be
Yeah.
a sister, it can be people that you
Mhm.
love, but you just kind of know where to put them.
Right.
Almost like they don't necessarily have to be riding along with you
Right.
the whole way. Like
No.
I'll come back and get you because
Yeah.
I need some positive energy here.
Right.
That is such a great great advice. So staying positive. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Thank you all listeners for tuning in. This was Wellness Wednesdays. That was Lucille Bodden. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I will talk with you guys again tomorrow. It will be Thursday, Success 101, and I have an amazing young companion that I will be highlighting tomorrow. So don't you dare not tune in tomorrow. Talk to you then. Have a great evening.
Oh, let me see what